Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So we've got to find ways to bring down the cost of prescription drugs, and the National Academies recommends that the federal government negotiate prices directly with drug companies. I agree. But today I want to focus on another part of your report. You explain that drug companies use so-called patient assistance programs to rake in extra profits from branded drugs, even when there are cheaper generics available. And one of these strategies is to offer coupons. The data show that for top-selling brand name drugs, the use of these coupons has more than tripled in recent years, and patients are now using coupons for nearly 1 out of every 3 brand name drug purchases. Mr. Augustine, it would seem on its face like offering these coupons would cost the drug companies money, but your report finds exactly the opposite. Could you just say a word about how coupons drive up drug prices?
I'll be happy to do that. Coupons are a bit of an enigma. They appear to be helping the patient who can't afford a drug. One of the effects they have, though, is that from the patient standpoint, it causes them to prefer a higher priced drug because they're not having to pay the full amount. And they may choose a drug at a higher tier than otherwise would have been necessary. It would have had the same clinical effect. The insurance company then is paid the full amount, and so the insurance rates go up. And so, in effect, the patient saves money at the instant transaction. They lose part of the money when their insurance rate goes up, and society as a whole pays a higher insurance rate overall. So coupons, in the balance, in our view, have a negative effect.
Right, and I noticed that the National Academy's report recommends banning these coupons unless there is no other competitor drug available. In fact, these coupons are already illegal in the Medicare program because the federal government prohibits drug companies from offering kickbacks to steer patients to pricier drugs and then sticking taxpayers with the remainder of the cost. So drug companies have found another strategy for Medicare beneficiaries, funneling billions of dollars to organizations called patient-assisted charities. And here's how this one works. The drug company jacks up its price for a drug, donates some money to an independent charity, writes off the donation on its taxes, and then the charity turns around and gives patients help covering the out-of-pocket costs of the more expensive drug. And once again, Medicare is then stuck picking up the remainder of the cost of the high-priced drug. So let me start. Mr. Augustine, is this legal as long as drug companies don't have any sway over the nonprofit charity that it parcels out to patients?
Well, Senator, with the condition you applied, to the best of my knowledge, it would be legal.
Okay, so it is legal. But if drug companies have influence over which drugs these charities help patients buy, then under current law, it would be illegal. The drug company has violated the anti-kickback laws in that case, and the charity would have violated the IRS rules by acting like an arm of the drug company instead of like a tax-exempt nonprofit. Mr. Augustine, did the National Academy's report find that the rules governing these charities make them disclose enough to the IRS on their Form 990 to know when charities and drug companies are breaking the law?
Senator, it was not at all clear that there is enough information being provided. And one of our recommendations pertains to the IRS Form 990 that you're familiar with. One of the purposes of Form 990, of course, is to guarantee that a charity is operating independently of the sponsors or the funders of the charity. And the concern here is that that's not happening. And so we have made recommendations that additional information be disclosed on the 990 form so that you could really control how that money was being used, and that it was being used independently of the giving source.
Well, I support strengthening those disclosure rules. I've written legislative language to do it. I've also called for new requirements to force drug companies to disclose all types of patient assistance, including coupons, so that we can get the whole picture of what's going on. It seems to me that patients and taxpayers deserve policies that will actually lower drug costs rather than the shell game that funnels more profits to drug companies. I think these are good recommendations, and I hope that we will be able to see them soon here in the committee, write them into law, and get them passed through Congress. Thank you, Mr.